Good morning and welcome to Morning Markets from True Potential. Before delving into what's been happening in asset markets over the past 24 hours, thank you to everybody that's been clicking on the subscribe button for Morning Markets. Please keep doing that. It means that you get all the great content from True Potential straight into your YouTube account. So then looking at asset markets yesterday, at a headline level, most indices ever so slightly weaker over the course of the day. As we touched on last week, it's very much a reflection of the results that we're seeing from companies. We're seeing positive, negative share price reactions to those, and that's masking, I suppose, that underlying little change at an overall index level. Just delving into some of those results yesterday, we did see Tesla, which was down about 4% in the US, and that did drag down US markets over the course of the day yesterday. I think the other thing to discuss there is just the context of some of the sector performances that we saw yesterday. Saw some of those areas more associated with the reopening of economies doing well, and that feeds into the next section that I want to discuss, is just what was happening in the bond market yesterday. So we saw two notable stories from yesterday. One in the UK, in the gilt market, we saw Debt Management Office successfully issue a 30-year issuance, which was very well subscribed and demanded. In the US, we saw for the first time in a couple of sessions, really, quite a material move out in yields. So yields moving out to about 1.63%, up 6 basis points on the day. A number of factors playing into that move yesterday. I think a lot speaks to the ongoing reopening of the US economy and the strength that we've been seeing there. In the US yesterday, we had a number of data points that supported that movement higher in the bond market, primarily looking at consumer confidence, which improved to a one-year high of 121. Just looking back a couple of months ago at the beginning of the year, we were at 88. It does show how consumer confidence in the US has evolved, a function, one could argue, of the vaccination programs, the real acceleration that we've seen in the US, and also the stimulus payments coming through. So confidence is high at a consumer level. Also, we had very strong house price data in the US, showing house prices up about 12% year on year. Within that, a move from apartments to larger homes and more urban homes. So maybe that's one of the trends that we're seeing as a result of COVID-19 coming through there. The other thing that was evident in the US yesterday was just how inflation expectations moved. So 10-year forward inflation expectations up at 2.4%, levels that we haven't seen in a number of years. Indeed, looking back at the chart this morning, you can see just on the screen, we have to go back to 2013 to see a comparable level. And inflation is one of those things that is certainly a hot topic in markets at the moment. It is what's been driving the bond market over the past number of weeks, and indeed the company reporting season. We're hearing a lot of commentary about rising input costs. The key question there is whether that is passed on to the consumer, to the purchasers, with rising prices over the next number of months. And that will feed into the debate as to whether the inflation increases that we're seeing are transitory or something more ingrained. Just thinking about price rises, I touched on earlier in the week just about industrial metals, soft commodities, the price increases there. Copper, you can see in the chart on the screen just at the moment, is one of those that is clearly being pushed up and caught up in that movement higher. And you see copper, I think it's a 25-year chart that we've got there. It's at its highest that it's been in the past 25 years. So just indicating again that strength of the recovery, but speaking into that point about rising prices and how that feeds into inflation expectations going forward. In terms of overnight, we've had a number of US large cap technology companies reported very good results in terms of the year-on-year growth rates that they've discussed. And in terms of Alphabet, Google's parent company, interesting to note, advertising starting to return as businesses capture the reopening of the US economy as well. And that has fed into Asian markets overnight, where we've seen a positive performance there. Looking to the day ahead, very much about the Federal Reserve. What will they say? How will they acknowledge the improvement that we've seen in the US economy over the past couple of months? market will focus in on any comments around their decisions or the things that they're looking at in regards to tapering their quantitative easing programme. So that will be something that we'll reflect on tomorrow. Many thanks.
Subscribing to True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to your YouTube app on your phone, type in True Potential and press the red subscribe option. You'll then be notified as and when new videos are released.